going to start out with a tweet from Pat McAfee. Your guy, Pat McAfee. He's quite the disruptor over at ESPN, and he's doing some more disrupting. Let's go to the tweet here from Pat McAfee. Do we not have it in prompter? Yes, we do. I need an NBA expert or experts for the program. Not every day, just someone to FaceTime periodically through the season. I will pay because I pay everybody for their contributions to our show. Obviously, when licensing our show through ESPN, we thought it'd be easy to get NBA folks from the ESPN roster. That has not been the case. And then he added ESPN NBA crew has been rather impossible to work with due to their daily scheduling during season. Afternoons are tough for the entire group. So, which ex-NBA players do you think would be a great representative of the association on our Dumb A show? Thanks again. Cheers. Steve, that is a direct shot at ESPN. And man, Pat McAfee's just going to war. And there's so many questions to spin out of that. Who do you think he should hire? Who do you think, is it Stephen A. Smith and his crew that won't cooperate? Do you think Pat McAfee will be at ESPN 12 months from now, 18 months from now, 24 months from now? When does this fall apart? Or does he get to continue to be kind of a solo artist and do his own thing? Start with any of that, and I'll just respond.
Okay, dangerous. Good. Be provocative. Be dangerous. I think about this. If you don't want the usual ESPN Bristol approved, oh my God, it's great that Bronny gets to play and go to work with his father. I think, but if you want a guy that's going to give you their unfiltered feelings and just let his hands go, Peter Vesey, that's the guy. And those segments would be must-see television. Dial-up Vesey, that's the guy.
Steve Kim, let me ask you a question. Jason, let me ask you guys a question. I'm just not smart enough to know this answer. When you see a tweet like this, you know he could have easily figured this out behind the scenes. He didn't have... What would be his motivation other than trying to throw a grenade at ESPN? Why would he go public with that kind of message when he could easily find this person or these people without putting it public?
He's giving his explanation in advance. He's probably already made the decision. He probably already knows who he wants to, and he's like, and this is why I'm doing it, because I can't get Stephen A. Smith's guys that are loyal to Stephen A. I can't get them to come on my show. Thought I would. And you know, he's also probably saying like, man, y'all re-sign Kendrick Perkins. He doesn't fit what I'm doing over here. Tim Legler, maybe not spicy, saucy enough for him. Steve, I know this won't happen because I don't think they like each other. I don't think, or there seems to be some kind of competition and rivalry. But what if Bill Simmons would come on there once a month?
Yeah, as they say, that wouldn't play in Peoria or Bristol. But again, it can be an ensemble. Like, if I'm that show, okay, and I'm working with Pat, I go, Pat, look, I'd get Vesey, and I would be willing, I would want to, I'd make this a priority. Get me a former player that is still recognizable, okay, that would absolutely rip these new guys for the load management and would have the guts to call out this soft play. Maybe a Charles Oakley or Charles Oakley type, a rough guy that just has no filter and is willing to say things. If I see one more media member that is Clutch Sports influenced, it's going to drive me nuts. Luckily for me, I don't watch any of it, but you got to get a bunch of renegades. To me, McAfee on ESPN, that's a renegade show. So stay with that identity and just keep adding more outspoken renegades.
Wow. Someone willing to, you know, that's it. That's probably good for his brand. You're probably giving the right advice for his brand. Yesterday, when I saw this, my initial thought, one of my favorite guys covering the NBA that I think is a superstar, just needs to be, he already is a superstar, but just if he were given an opportunity to get more of his personality out there, and I think he would fit, he'd add the cool factor that, McAfee show likes. I'm a huge Jim Jackson guy. Jim used to be on Speak for Yourself with me.
Yes.
Jim is a great guy. Jim's got interesting things going on in his life. He's got this son that he's raising that he spends a lot of time talking about, and I think that's going to be an interesting story. Will his son be an athlete and all that? I love Jim Jackson, and I reached out to Jim, and I was like, hey, man, you should reach out, have your agents and them reach out and see if you could do this. Not sure if Fox Sports would allow it. Greg Anthony's another guy that I'm like. He's over at TNT. He's Greg Anthony might say some things, and the more I think about it.
Jason, keep this in mind. Inside the NBA is coming to a conclusion, is it not? Isn't this like their swan song? They're going on their farewell tour.
Yes.
So look, there's going to be an opening there. Who's going to be the next Charles Barkley if Barkley actually does retire, which I don't think so. He doesn't want to play that much golf. But there's going to be a void of an outspoken guy that's just going to say whatever's on his mind and damn the consequences. So again, be bold. Think renegade here, McAfee.
Do you think McAfee will be at ESPN a year from now?
I actually do, because he's paid a lot of money. There's still a security that's there financially. And look, as someone that's been an avid viewer of College Game Day for years, now I don't watch it as much as I used to, he's actually given that show a bump, some energy. It works, him and Saban. So, yeah, it may be an uncomfortable, tumultuous relationship throughout, but if you were to ask me in 1 year, will he be there? My answer is yes.